We gonna set this mother off.
Here we go. What up, YouTube?
Like we always do about this time. Yo, YouTube.
Let's get this going.
Let's get this party started right.
Do you wanna ride with Sammy? What you want me to do? Come on and slide with Sammy. Malone. Sippin', I'm 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 sippin'.
This is Sippin' with Sammy. I am Mr. Fly Shit Only, the one and only Sippin' with Sammy. Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammy, you ain't sippin' right. Please get your fucking life together.
Damn, Sammy, you done fucked up.
Thanks, Sammy.
Yup! What's up with y'all, man? Happy Monday, happy hour, happy snow day if you in the region or anywhere that got hit with the snow. I know I got off work today, so I'm grooving. I'm having a great time. Hopefully, either way, your day was great. If not, let's make it a little more better. Let's maybe just give you something else to think about, man. Don't even trip. We in here with you. Had bad days before, too. I just try not to dwell on them. Got to get into tomorrow at some point. We live on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube right now. Shout out to everybody on each platform. If you in the chat, let us know where you at. Let us know what that weather like. Let us know what you sipping on. You know what I mean? Put some glasses in the chat or whatever have you. Some bottles in the chat. I appreciate that. But I'm excited. It's another Monday. Another opportunity to come talk to y'all. And we have another list of great topics to get into. And very diverse and interesting topics, which is what I like. I enjoy the fact that I have someone in the building with me that provides balance to the nonsense that I like to keep up with and keeps us informed with some things that I may not have been able to quite keep up or grasp or care about at the time. So shout out to Kay for Front Production. She's in the building.
Yo, what's up?
How you?
You know, trying to get our situation right, but other than that, I'm doing great.
Word. Situation situated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I need them topics up in a minute too, cause we gonna get rolling. We ain't gonna hold y'all up. But happy New Year, happy New Year, happy New Year. I do believe it's the first time I've been on here since New Year's. So this is officially the last time I have to say Happy New Year, because I ain't say it to y'all, but we're much blessings in this upcoming year, and hopefully anything that you chose to add to your situation, you are actively doing that and giving yourself grace at the same time, which is the opposite of making excuses. So just know that none of us are perfect. We got goals to reach, but sometimes you want to get 10, you get 5, and you work on the next 5 later. You got to figure it out. It's all good. Sometimes we hit walls, and that could be financially and weight loss, whatever you want to talk about. It's a thing, man. So just make sure that you keep it optimistic, and while focusing on your goals, keep one little peripheral vision, one eye lean towards your family and your friends, and make sure that they all right when you get a couple minutes. Like when you wake up or you stuck up and you got the writer's block, just call somebody, man. Chop it up with them, see how everything going with them, check on the kids. It might break your writer's block. It might break your mood, you know, just shift things for you to get you back to being productive. So it's just things to think about. Things to think about while we add to making the world a better place day by day, person by person, neighbor by neighbor.
Whew.
That's all we can do.
All right, we good now.
All right, so everything is good on the sound. We up on all the platforms. So
Yep.
shout out to y'all for bearing with us. It's time to get to some I guess it's whoa. Where we going?
We
Because
gotta
it
start.
says weekend Christmas recap, but we did Christmas.
Oh, this is supposed to be.
New Year's
Yeah.
recap. All right, cool. All good.
So I mean, we could just treat it like normal.
Yeah, it's all good.
Why don't you go ahead?
New Year's Eve. One thing about me is if I'm not traveling, and usually even when traveling, if I don't have somewhere to party that I can sleep at or like right next door to, I usually don't go on New Year's. Just getting around traveling, people's attitudes, people's anxiety, people's excitement, people doing more than they've ever done before, than they've done since this time last year, is very scary to me. So I find somewhere decent, I get a nice grub, I get a couple bottles of whatever we need, and I bring it in amongst people that I bang with. So we was home, played the crib this year, had an event that I was a guest of honor at that actually got canceled at the last minute or postponed. I'm not even sure. So it was like, you know what? That's another sign. I'm going to just chill regular. So we stayed in here. We potted during the evening and popped the champagne and popped the streamers and all of that all over the studio. By the end of the night, it was looking crazy in here. I was still cleaning up confetti about an hour ago. And there's still little pieces around I'm looking at right now. It's getting aggravating. But but the highlight for me every year is being out of my mind and calling my grandmom in the middle of the night and telling her happy birthday, and her being wide awake and excited and knowing exactly who she's talking to at 99 years old. That was a blessing. Kay could tell you how that went too, because she was on the call.
It was great.
You know what I mean? It's a real thing. Like, it sounds light, but it's heavy though. It's heavy though. And then New Year's Day, the family scurried on over to grandma and made sure that we cut the birthday cake and ate dinner with grandma and sung happy birthday. And she sat down, talked, and smiled the whole time. She know when it's her day. She never is in a low spirit. She never got the sniffles on her birthday. It is hilarious. I just be watching like, look at you, Ham. You a ham. But no, I love that lady. So let's give it up for grandma.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Grandma.
Happy birthday, Mary. One of the best people you could ever meet. So yeah, that's pretty much my highlights. Outside of that, fell back on Friday night. Shout out to Wade. If y'all tuned in before, you probably seen Wade on here before a couple times. Him and his wife was over. We ate food, fellowship, drank. They stayed till like 5 something in the morning. I didn't go to bed till about 7, 8 in the morning. So my whole Saturday was crazy. And Sunday, a lot of football, a lot of chilling. Nothing too much to say about that. But I did, a lot of things have happened in sports. So certain things to talk about, but no real highlights for me. What about you?
No, I mean, that basically sums up my weekend as well. New Year's. So I will say, one of the big resolutions that I'm trying to hold true to this year, it's not really a resolution, but like January is a good time to get your shit together. You know what I mean? Like, clean your house, get your jobs in order, catch up on your to-do list, like plan for the coming year, all that type of stuff. So I've been trying to do a little bit of that here and there, and if you know me, you know that I work a lot.
Is that true?
A lot.
Okay.
So this break I had off from the whole week of Christmas up to January 2nd. So having off for all of that time was glorious, and allowed me to really reset myself and get my mind back on straight. Because when you work too much, you really start to burn out. So it was nice to have that nice little break. That's all.
Fire. For all the rest of y'all, hopefully y'all New Year's was awesome. Maybe next year we'll be strategic enough to be live when the ball drops somewhere, wherever we at. But I just don't be wanting to be paying attention to the chat at that point of the night on New Year's.
Right.
So I'm kind of not built for it. It's like a hell of a sacrifice for me. But maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll be able to party with y'all. But we did go live that day. We thought it was important to hit a couple things, and we had a good little stream. So
definitely
shout out to whoever saw it. It was love. It was love, and we went crazy. We got a lot of strikes this last week because we just been like, you know what, end of the year we gonna have some fun with y'all. We've been tapping into stuff that we knew we was gonna get flagged for, but it's cool. We straightening it out.
Yep.
We are good.
And one thing that I wanted to also tell the people that we're going to be doing a little bit new is we're now going to be recording the horizontal live stream that we do on Twitch. So then that way we can post some of the clips of that onto YouTube, because, we know y'all still need some long form content, and we told you we're going to be doing less of the Sippin' with Sammie episodes. So to replace some of that content, we will be chopping these up. You'll be able to revisit your favorite topics in a horizontal view on YouTube.
Awesome. Shout out to everybody I got in production, you know what I'm saying? My production team doing the thing. No, that's fire. But let's get into some topics, man. I'm ready.
All right, so
I've been hyped this week, man.
Let's start with the New Year's stuff.
Can we first start by saying rest in peace to all of the people that was caught up in the tragic events of New Year's Day,
yes,
New Year's Eve, New Year's morning?
That's exactly where I was going.
All right, yeah. Shout out to New Orleans, Las Vegas, and Queens, New York. 3 different incidents that had happened by the time I woke up on New Year's Day. So let's talk about it.
Absolutely. So New Year's Eve or New Year's Day was off to a crazy start here in the U.S. Like Sam mentioned, there were 3 separate incidents, all of which were just unthinkable in a lot of ways.
Random acts of violence and
yeah. Unfortunately, there was a terrorist attack in New Orleans where an American citizen drove through a crowd of people on Bourbon Street that resulted in at least, I think it's 14 deaths now.
Oh.
And either 12 or 14 deaths and over 30 injuries reported. So this was a huge mass casualty event. Prayers up to anybody who was involved, anybody who, is in New Orleans in general. That was a huge tragedy and a terrible way to start off 2025.
Absolutely. I mean, just the visual and like anything that you can be considered a terroristic attack is like you almost can't plan for it. Because it always happens randomly. And when you watch that video and you see that big pickup truck turn that corner all out of control with no intention of gaining control, and then you realize that was intentional, that wasn't somebody that partied too much.
Right.
And then, like, you hear the stories of the people that passed and the connections that they have, because these are people. They're not nameless and faceless to the world. Mm-hmm. And it's sad, man. It's really, really sad. I heard a young lady died in the New Orleans situation that her parents told her not to go and she snuck out and went with her cousins. You know how rough that is, yo? Like, it's just like, you never know, man. You never know. But prayers up to all of them. What else we got about that? Anything else?
No.
Because I don't want to get too dark, but I don't want to get into all of the fun stuff without acknowledging that we did start this year off with another rash of tragedies. And I just want to send good wishes and good energy to everybody that's involved.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people are affected when you hear about anything where 5 or more people are injured in anything.
Absolutely.
So let's not get too comfortable with these mass situations and just act like, no, this is deep.
Yeah, but like I said, we couldn't start this broadcast in this new year without at least, telling the people and saying prayers up to everybody who has been affected. So
yeah, and fingers I'm not supposed to be showing on camera to whoever is causing this nonsense to innocent people. Don't make no sense.
That part. All right, let's get
Start
into
with yourself. Save a lot of trouble.
Let's get into something a little bit more fun.
Let's do it.
Other news that broke at the very beginning of the new year was this press release that the Newark police, correct?
What are we talking about? No,
Edgewater Police.
Yeah, it's not Newark.
Edgewater Police dropped, having to do with Joe Budden. So the press release says,
this is fun.
on December 4th, 2024, at approximately 7:21 a.m., the Edgewater Police were dispatched to an apartment complex for the report from a resident that a man was standing outside of their apartment door completely naked.
Butt ass.
The caller recognized the man as a neighbor, Joseph Budden Jr., a 44-year-old male. The caller was alerted to Budden by their doorbell camera. The video depicted Budden attempting to enter a code into the door keypad several times before entering his own residence across the hall. As a result of police investigation, Budden was charged with lewdness on a complaint summons. And then it goes on to say that these charges are merely accusations. And, of course, the Joe Budden is innocent until proven guilty.
There's a few things about this. If you watch the Joe Budden podcast, he has spoken before about having incidents involving sleepwalking and that he really has a problem with it. but not enough to where he thinks he'll harm himself. So it's like it's a thin line between how much help he's willing to try to get for the problem. Mm-hmm. All right, so he missed the episode, and when he got back on the next episode, at some point they were talking, and he said he just alluded to the fact that some shit went down because he got caught sleepwalking again. He said, "You know me, you know how I sleep." And everybody said, "Oh shit, yeah, butt ass." Like, you know, it was a joke, but it was like one of those things where it's not really a joking matter. He still was dealing with whatever the repercussions were of that, and we weren't aware, and he wasn't allowed to speak to it, right? Mm-hmm. So then we get this press release, and in the press release, you reading it, and you like, all right, cool. You're happy that everybody is acknowledging that there's a possibility of this man sleepwalking,
Right.
right? And we also know, and I don't know in this situation, but Joe does have a history of using sleep aids, which make you do strange things sometimes. And what it sounds like in a report is that he was trying to get into an apartment that he thought was his.
Right.
That's what it sounds like, because I wouldn't assume that he thought that he had the code to her apartment. Now, the thing that's getting crazy is two things. One, they're saying that when she looked at the Ring camera video, her two minor daughters were there. So they witnessed the situation. Which is funny because Flip said, "You was just swinging, wasn't you?" He was like, "No." So they probably wasn't. He probably wasn't even in his best form at that moment either. So anyway, Joe's lawyers responded and put out a statement saying how they don't understand why there's a press release about this. It's not even a felony. There's nowhere else on the department's website where they have given a press release about something of this magnitude, and they don't understand why you don't see that this is clout chasing or something to that effect, or trying to slander Joe Budden. So now, that's the thing too.
That's why I made this a topic. I think the fact that Edgewater Police released a press release about this situation to literally inform the media about this incident is just crazy. Like, it's one thing if a reporter calls the police department and the police department acknowledges that something happened, or the fact that records are public and they can be looked up somewhere. Mm-hmm. But to release a press release knowing that that's going to get picked up everywhere is ridiculous.
And you can't blame it on outside pressure.
Yeah.
You cannot blame that on outside pressure, especially in somewhere like Edgewater. They deal with celebrities a lot.
Exactly. So this to me was just ludicrous. I mean, there's no reason that this should happen.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I thought I was saying it was Joe Budden. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Really?
You said it was ludicrous.
Really?
Hey, man, low-hanging fruit. Sometimes you gotta eat.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
No, but it is ridiculous.
It is, and all that to say, you know, I didn't want to. I don't bring this up in terms of, you know, poking fun at Joe Budden. Like, yes, it's a hilarious situation when you're not involved in it. Mm-hmm. But for him, you know, this is not something that he wants to be going through right now.
This is still a man with 2 children,
exactly.
2 baby mothers, a girlfriend, a mother, a father that we know of that are all very, very active in his life and all have different perceptions that they get from the public situations that he gets involved in.
Right. And not for nothing, like, at the end of the day, he's not conscious when this occurred. We all know Joe Budden has a sleepwalking problem. I don't think that is some sort of cover up for him doing
something salacious.
Yeah, lewd behavior. Like, I think that is exactly what this is. And you know, for you to be unconscious and doing something and wake up in that scenario, like, that's a shitty situation.
That's what I was about to say about it.
No other way to put it, you know?
That's what I was about to say about it. Because since it's out of your control and you're a grown man and things happen and you can't account and you didn't have control, but you will be, even if you bump into something and you wake up the next day and your shit hurt for a week. Like, you couldn't control that, right? So I feel like it's like when I had my seizures back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I woke up, and it wasn't like, oh, you just had a seizure, it's over. No, you done sweated through some shit, might have peed on something.
Yep.
Like, everybody's upset. You got to go to the hospital now. This is still a thing.
Yep.
But I didn't do nothing.
So I do hope that this doesn't become a large, drawn out situation for Joe Budden.
That was my next point.
Talk about it.
Joe has a lot of enemies.
Yes, he does.
Especially with platforms.
Yes, he does.
And all they've been waiting on, and it's a couple of these in the stories today, is ammo against him. And the fact that it's been treated delicately and being discussed as sleepwalking on most of the responsible major platforms, that ain't what these 8, 10, 15-minute blogs are saying.
What are they saying?
I mean, you know, Freaky Joe and all type of nonsense. It's a lot. And they also trying to connect dots between the relocation of the pod, like I said last week, and all of that stuff. And some ways, you know, you could be 80% right, but sometimes things happen in a timely fashion that aren't necessarily because of each other.
Yeah.
You know? But it's a sad situation if it puts him in a or that neighbor in a compromising situation in any kind of way that can't be just figured out without a lot of extra heavy lifting.
I agree.
I mean, something happened, but like, you know, let's act like human beings and deal with it. Give her $20,000 and let's go about trying to lock your door.
Or like 30 days community service. Like, what are we really talking about here?
Yeah, we're not talking about nothing, but I think it'll be interesting. The next few weeks, the pod has a lot of things to address, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Tap into Joe Budden podcast. There's been a lot going on with Mel Ford. There's been a lot of contract shit. There's been fake lottery tickets. It's a lot.
Speaking of, you know,
pod sense.
Released early in the new year, I think on the 1st, was a new episode of Rory and Mal where they interviewed with Elliot Wilson. First off, we know that Elliot Wilson has been on Joe's podcast recently. He's a friend of the Joe Budden podcast. So for him to ask for Rory and Mal was already kind of curious, and you knew that people were going to tune in.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you watch the actual interview, you realize very quickly that Elliot is sloshed. Completely drunk. Beyond a normal podcasting appropriate level of drunk. Yes. And he came there with some stuff to get off of his chest.
Get it off your chest, nigga.
Sam, what does he talk about?
So Elliot sits there and, like she said, visually, audibly intoxicated. And he immediately throws a shot at Cam and Mason at It Is What It Is show. And he's trying to make an example out of media that he doesn't appreciate. But he uses them as the initial, I believe, example. And he says, you got Cameron running around here like he's Stephen A. Smith. And Maul geniusly calls him on it and says, I mean, what's the problem? Like, why would you say acting like he's Stephen A.? And that got Elliot to go further and to really just hate on the fact that there's opportunities that's coming to these stars that he believes should be his because he's the better journalist and interviewer and platform. And that was also challenged by, what's her name, Daenerys?
Yep.
She said, what makes you better? Are you more informed? Are you more about the story? Are you more entertaining? Like, what makes you be able to say that? And he just kept defending it and he kept deflecting, and it just got really ugly, and it made him look bad if after the last couple years that he's had, when he's gotten mad at streamers and other personalities for the opportunities that they're getting. We knew Cam and Mace was going to respond to that.
Of course. They
haven't been on It Is What It Is yet. They're on break for the season. But their page put up stuff and cracked a few jokes and grinded him up. And rightfully so. I don't even think they went too far. I think it was a couple jokes. It was cool. Then a day or two later, he pops up on the Need to Know podcast. And one of the first things they talk about, because of something that he insinuated, was the comments he made about Mace, Cam, and others. He immediately took over the conversation and started to correct his behavior in real time. And you heard it, so you can tell me if I'm wording that wrong or not. But he started taking accountability for the things that we were saying, or that, you know, people that have a conscience about this stuff were saying that he's getting wrong in his approach.
Right.
Right? And how that no matter intention or how you feel, what you're putting out there publicly is affecting your legacy. So he addressed all of that, and he did a pretty good job at it. The only thing is, like, Elliot kind of did one of those things where it's like, all right, I know, I'm gonna just say it. Where, like, you're not gonna give me a chance to add my not innuendo, but, you know, we might have the same fundamental points, but I might even have another variable to the situation to add to it. But you just want to get through it real quick, so you're going to say everything before I can say it. But they also appreciated the fact that he addressed it, and that they didn't have to bait him into understanding what he did wrong. Right.
That's fair.
What do you think overall about the situation? The initial comment and a retraction without an apology, because he blatantly says, I'm not going to apologize because I'm going to give Cam a chance to beat my head in real quick when they get back.
So, to me,
Pause.
That's kind of brilliant, because it's acknowledging that an apology is required, but also acknowledging that, like, the reprimand is going to be not only humorous, but deserved.
And loud.
And
it won't be stopped by an apology.
And I actually appreciate that answer from him. So that response I'm actually okay with. What he said in the first place was completely out of line. You know, we've seen a lot of entertainers straddle different spheres of entertainment. We've seen that time and time again. So why can't a rapper be a podcaster?
And in that, you made an excuse for the white boy. They said, what about Brady and them doing? And you was like, well, athlete. And even though you said athlete,
right,
you gave, you know what I mean, grace there. And I failed to mention, and I'm sorry, part of the reason I cut you off before you got to finish your thought, because I want you to address the part where he actually acknowledged in the retraction a couple things. One, that he didn't realize the process that Cam and them went through to build that platform and how seriously that they took it. Part of that was acknowledging Stat Baby and that she's a real journalist. I want you to address that. And the other thing was that he said, in the retraction piece, he says something about damn it, address that first and I'll get back to it. Go ahead.
Okay, so before I address that, I do want to say that we have C-Cash in the comments.
Cash.
Yo, C-Cash.
Here.
But anyway, so about him acknowledging Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby. You know that is my girl. I look up to Stat Baby, even though she is 10 years younger than me. I think she's great. And the fact that he actually acknowledged her as a journalist is important. And I think that shows that he watches the show. But with that, even if Cam and Mace are not journalists in the traditional form, they are producing entertaining content that satisfies the audience
for 50 minutes.
Right. So whether or not they have that journalistic background, they are serving the purpose of being journalists. They are reporting on things from their own point of view. And while those reports might not be as well researched as somebody with a traditional journalism background, to compare them to Stephen A. Smith, who is also a retired athlete turned journalist, or not Steve, oh, I'm sorry.
Tom Brady.
That's who I was thinking, Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
to compare him to Tom Brady, who is a retired athlete turned journalist, is just insane to me. Because to me, those would be two, like an athlete going to journalism versus a rapper going to journalism would be comparable.
And see, that's what's weird too. And I mean, just the whole thing, like the other point that I had was he actually acknowledged that he was jealous in his retraction. He said that he finds it strange that the people whose careers were based on him reporting on them and how he represented them and presented them now have the resources and the outlets that he's not getting. Even when it comes down to these sports betting situations, these apps giving up this bread.
Yep.
So I think that was very telling too, because it's like, all right, we get it, bro, but like you done had 30 years killing the game. We was thinking that you would be able to just freelance this shit, not be too invested, and damn near be on some retirement or OG shit at this point.
I also think
and I don't want to give him too much credit for what he said about Treasure, because not that I'm trying to be hard on Elliot, but his whole statement and everything he said sounds like him regurgitating the fair to say points that people that he respect told him after he made his statements. And I think Treasure was part of that.
I have one more thing to add.
Mm-hmm.
So in his original statements, he also said that folks like Cam were stealing interviews from him or taking away his opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that that's really telling about Elliot Wilson and what he thinks his platform should be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch Rap Radar, and, you know, I don't tune into it all the time, but he likens himself, and this comes from his background in journalism and magazines and that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He likens himself to the types of magazines that go after the biggest of the biggest artists and get those illicit interviews. And with Rap Radar, he hasn't necessarily been able to do that. You know, people like Drake go to
Apple Music.
Or random streamers. So I think that
everybody else goes to the Breakfast Club.
Right. And I think that that's kind of what he's alluding to a little bit. And to me, that is not saying anything about what these artists are doing or what these other platforms are doing. That says a lot more about what he thinks, where he thinks he should be. And to me, he's misunderstanding his platform's relevance. Yes. Because to me, Rap Radar really excels in the fact that they get the up-and-coming artists first.
Shout out to B-Dot.
In a lot of cases. And I think that, you know, that's something that On the Radar also does well.
Yeah, On the Radar has actually been taking that spot over too.
Right. So
and they young.
To me, he needs to take a better look at his platform and understand his audience before he makes those types of comments.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just think it was all strange, and I hope that he means what he said. And there are some people that do deserve apologies. Whether that's public or private or whatever. I'm not somebody that says if the thing is said publicly, you gotta apologize publicly. Sometimes the apology needs to be immediate, and the public one is not the one. It ain't time for that yet. You know what I mean? Like, no, say it to me when you got that platform in 6 weeks, that big one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know. But, yeah. It's just all weird. It's all very weird. And it's just giving, like it's saying with Joe, another person with a bunch of enemies that have platforms that just giving up ammo. Just giving up ammo. You're going to get people to bury you. And we're in a day and age where everybody picks sides for everything.
Right.
It's very strange, so you got to be careful with that kind of shit, man. You got to. Him and Dame have been going crazy lately. But let's go.
All right. Let's get out of that for a second and move on to some sports.
Let's do it.
Let's start with this.
Yeah, man. Salute to the homie. You got it?
You can go ahead.
So a couple nights ago, during halftime of the Bulls game, they had a hell of a ceremony for Derrick Rose. It was D Rose night. His family was there. Joakim Noah, higher ups in the organization, gave speeches, beautiful speeches. He spoke beautifully directly to his son, used his son as the example for the motivation of his message. Acknowledged his beautiful daughters that were there, his wife. The city of Chicago had looked like a rose-filled basketball court that was him. That was beautiful. He just opened a flower shop recently and spoke to what he plans on doing with his future. But I think that's how an organization is supposed to treat a star, yo. I remember a lot of stars getting honored. I don't remember. You know how long halftime was?
It was a long time.
All the videos online that got the full ceremony, I think, is 15 or 20 minutes a piece. That don't include commercial breaks and all of that stuff that went on before and after and in between. Like, it was a lot of stuff, and I just thought it was so fire. And I just want to salute D Rose, somebody that came into the game as one of those explosive players that we need. You know, every generation got a couple of them that just, he ain't as big as everybody, but he gonna jump over him, he gonna run fast past him, he gonna shoot from deep, and it's gonna be exciting. And he was that. And then he had a couple injuries that slowed him down, but it never stopped what he contributed in that locker room. Him giving his best on the court, and him taking care of the city that he comes from, that he had the honor to play for. I just think that it's a beautiful story. And I think that his humility, when they announced to him, or they told him last year, I believe, that they were going to retire his number, and it looked like he was surprised. And he broke down a little bit, and he spoke to how surreal that was. But I think that he's as deserving as anybody to have his legacy commemorated in the way that the Chicago Bulls treated him, especially when we looking at what motherfuckers is going through with the Miami Heat right now. Like, it get crazy. So it could go either kind of way, but I just thought it was really dope to see. What did you get from it?
Before I answer that, you have to expand on your comments about the Miami Heat.
Oh, I do?
Yes.
Oh, what's your man name? Butler?
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler?
Uh-huh.
He wants out, and it looks like they want him out, because ever since he said he want out, they suspended him for 7 games. He supposed to lose like $3.7 million, and they've admitted to be open and taking offers and listening to what people got on the table for him, where he's a player that fought hard for every team he played on, but hella hard for Miami, especially during the playoffs, and he should not have this kind of turmoil going on his way out or working towards retirement.
Oh, that's what you meant.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
But yeah, back to D Rose night.
No, I thought that D Rose night was beautiful. I thought that they did a great job to honor him, honor his legacy, and everything that he's done for Chicago. So I thought that it was really great. And shout out to Chicago for not waiting. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
man.
too often we wait until our stars
Great point.
are, you know, in their 70s.
Yeah, walkers and wheelchairs. and
Right.
shit.
To have these types of celebrations, and for him to be able to have that celebration while his kids are still young, so that they can see, like, yo, this is my dad. Like, that was the coolest part for me. So shout out to the Bulls for doing that.
I thought what was also dope about when they announced that they didn't announce it. Like I said, they had a meeting with him and told him that they were going to retire his jersey. They said no one else will ever wear the number 1 unless PJ plays for the Bulls. And I thought that was so hard, because with the speech being about PJ, with him playing for his old elementary or middle school in a game with PJ, and they were calling that his last game ever. Like, I thought that the tie-in with his son especially, but all the kids and the family, and even the pictures with his wife.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought that it was super, super dope, because it was his moment, but it was their moment without it just being them supporting his greatness. They were a part of all of it, like intertwined all in it, and I thought that was fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
But imagine they grab his son on some, you know what I'm saying, Bronny shit, and give him the number uno.
Right.
PJ all right. PJ gonna be good. He gonna be good. These niggas babies ain't like Jordan's sons. They be coming out swinging, boy. And Jordan's sons wasn't bad. They just wasn't that. And it's a difference. Like, they played for good colleges. It just wasn't going nowhere else. At least one of them did. But yeah, let's wrap that up. I just want to do this one more time for D Rose.
Absolutely.
And even watching that, you just remember how spectacular he was and how much he did during his journey. So it's like, you can't watch those videos and not say well deserved. Well deserved.
Absolutely. So, in other NBA news, like Sam already alluded to, Jimmy Butler is having a rough time at the Heat.
Rough.
He has made it very clear that he wants out, and the Heat responded by suspending him for 7 games. To me personally, I think that this suspension is very
Pat Riley.
dramatic, I was going to say. But yes, Pat Riley. Yeah, I just think that for somebody of Jimmy Butler's caliber to be treated this way by an organization that he has done a lot for, like the Heat, I just thought that it was uncalled for. And especially, like, knowing what Jimmy has been going through over the last, year and a half with his father's death and
multiple injuries.
All of that. So, for me personally, I just think that this is awful. I feel terrible for Jimmy, and I want the Heat to let him go as soon as possible. How do you feel?
I think this is a changing of the guard issue. I feel like Hero and them is able to start acting crazy out there. They got Triple J whenever he's healthy, and they're building towards something. And in the meanwhile, he's not being necessarily as productive as he's been in the past during the regular season. But we've also seen Butler have damn near dry regular seasons and tear the playoffs up.
Right.
So it's like it's a weird position, but I think it's a lot of arguing in the locker room. It's another team that just benched 2 people and talking about they about to get rid of them, Phoenix, because of locker room issues. And Phoenix is having a horrible season, and it's like, when y'all losing like that, both of y'all might gotta go.
Right.
So it's a lot of stuff that's going on in these team meetings, these locker rooms, whoever's going and talking to the GMs,
Yeah.
And I think that this is one of those situations where he's just not happy, and they're like, look, man, how many more years you got on those knees and them ankles?
Right.
And I think that's how they treat him. And I think it's sad. I think we've seen them take great care of certain legends in the past, but they gave them 20 years of their life. Like Udonis Haslem, they treated him awesome, but he played and damn near coached for 20 years for Miami Heat. And he from Miami. So, or Dade or something. He from somewhere around there. But yeah, I just think it's sad. I think it's really ugly, and I think that the Sixers need to try to get him back, because I feel like y'all could probably get him for a basket of garlic bread and some and some sweet tea.
Wouldn't that be nice?
At this point, because I feel like whatever it is, contract is his contract. Whatever y'all will be, it ain't nothing crazy. Is he getting 30? No, so that's somebody else. He ain't getting 30. Y'all be alright. And y'all ain't really paying nobody right now. Maxey got his deal, and B got his deal. Y'all got Paul George for a layup. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see.
All right.
Chat, what do y'all think, man? Let us know.
So, in other NBA news.
But let me iterate. $3.7 million in 7 games. I just want to say that. That's a real punishment.
Yeah.
That's a real punishment.
Yeah.
Like, that's intentional.
That's definitely some fuck you money.
Yeah, like, because I might be willing to take a $1 million, $2 million hit to say fuck you. I might know it's coming. But when you hit me for damn near 4-piece during the holidays.
Yeah. That's some fuck you money.
Golly.
Whew. So, in other NBA news, we can't talk about the NBA right now and not talk about OKC. Yes.
Shit, Shay.
They have been on a crazy run, winning 15 games straight, which is something that, only 9 teams have done before?
Yeah.
So, shout out to them. They look incredible. I wouldn't want to play them right now.
bunch of dogs, man. They got J-Dog, they got Shay, they have a bunch of players, mostly young, that are athletic and committed. And they do everything by committee. So, like, you know how, like, it gets to, you watch a lot of these games and it's like, well, everybody on the team gets the green light to shoot the three. Theirs is a little different. You can shoot the three, but that's not the objective. But if you open, let it fly, and they shoot a pretty decent percentage. Then Shay is consistent, and like I said, the dog has been acting crazy. He's stealing balls, he's dunking on people, he's hitting it at the top of the key. I don't know what he's on this year, but he got something to prove. And OKC has something to say, man. It's sad because you watch what Phoenix is going through, and you remember the conversation we had on it a couple weeks ago where it's like, well, whose team is that? And it should be Durant's team, or is it his team? And it's like, OKC got some young motherfuckers with a good coach, and they rocking. You could have still been home. Building a franchise, getting you a ring. Whatever, though. He got it with Steph and them, so he happy, I'm sure. It is what it is. What do you think, though?
No, I mean, I agree.
Shout out to Shay, though, man. Shay is one of my favorite people in the league to watch, and it's often that I watch him play, and I'm trying to decide, like, is he my favorite player right now? Because he's dangerous, and he's elusive, and he plays at his own pace, and, like, it's ridiculous what he gets away with. Like, Ja Morant had it. Andrew, what's my man name? Oh, can I make one point about something we said earlier that I don't want to neglect?
Yeah.
We was talking about the Mason Cam situation. I hate that people don't acknowledge the fact that since they've had this platform for a short amount of time, they've hired AB, it didn't really work out, Maurice Claret, who nobody wanted to fuck with. These are two people nobody wanted to fuck with, right? Mm-hmm. Maurice Claret, who was trying to work his way back from what he did as a youth. Michael Irvin, who is a spicy character. He does have a network job, but he values being on their platform. Mark Jackson has his own platform on their imprint. And OJ was on there before he passed. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All the legends that they tried to put in a position to have a different kind of voice on a different kind of platform, and they pay them well. They ran up on Mark Jackson with a bag. He wouldn't take it. He was scared. But, like, I think that when we talk about them, you got to acknowledge that, too. My bad. I just think that that's important.
No, I agree.
But, yeah, Shay is really that exciting. And LaMelo, for me, just, like, is scary good. And he's been that since he was 15 in my eyes.
Right.
So, like, when it comes down to just watching motherfuckers hoop and do what they want, Shay is up there, bro. Shay is really, 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 really up there. So I just love what OKC has been doing. I wish them the best of luck. I think that I predicted, and I think a lot of people did, it's not like it was a hot take, that this season for the NBA was going to be really, really interesting with the up-and-coming star power that's involved and the just the way the chips have been falling lately and the style of basketball. So OKC is a representation of that, and so is the Cavaliers and Orlando. Well, nobody worried about them. None of them teams. Now look.
Yeah.
It's different.
I think, so one of the things that I actually just pulled up is I think this year there might be a lot of new All-Stars.
Yeah.
A lot of first-time All-Stars.
Yep.
Because think about it. Like, I'm just looking at this list that I saw. Tyler Hero.
My guy.
Derek White.
He deserve it, but I don't like him.
Tyrese Maxey.
There you go.
And
Maxey never been an All-Star. I thought he did last year, no?
No, he didn't make it last year.
Okay.
Banchero.
If he's healthy. Well deserved, though.
Yeah. I just think that it could be really interesting to see how the votes shake out.
All of those names are exciting.
Yeah.
All of those names is fire to me. I would love to see them into, it makes sense too. So no, that's dope, man. Like I said, I just knew that this year was going to be different for the league, and I'm a Lakers fan, and the same things that get me excited watching the Lakers is the same things that make me nervous. Like the same shit make you laugh, make you cry. So it's like I'm watching these youngins putting it together night after night after night, and I know the playoffs is a different beast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maxey and Banchero did make it last year.
I thought so. I thought Banchero was on there last year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but outside of that, but no, yeah, it's been exciting. The NBA has been pretty exciting. They're saying viewership is down, but I've been catching a lot of great games and a lot of great performances. So I'm content. And women's basketball is still, I've been watching the college games and it's been going crazy. We just watched a couple USC games in the last week. That was dope.
And Unrivaled starts in 2 weeks.
Yo, USC whooped Rutgers' ass, yo.
That they did.
Oh my goodness, Rutgers. Sheesh.
Speaking about women's college basketball, let's talk about this.
You got the latest?
I saw the coach statement. Is there something more recent than that?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything recently. What happens is UConn was playing a game. Who were they playing against?
Villanova.
Villanova, yeah, because they was in Philly.
Yep.
They was playing Villanova. Paige runs across the top of the key. She gets tangled up with another player. The player comes down awkwardly on Paige's leg, and Paige lays there, and it looks really, really serious. And then you hear Paige yell out, "That's a fucking flagrant!" And then they escort her off the court. Did they carry her? I don't think so. I think she hopped. She hopped off the court. Hobbled off the court, and then she returned back to the sideline before the end of the game, fully dressed in her uniform, looking as if she was prepared to play,
but did not re-enter.
The game. But to not get dressed makes it feel optimistic. But what was the coach's follow up to that?
So the coach said that he felt optimistic that it was not too serious. But you got to remember that this is also the leg that she had ACL surgery on. Yep. So everybody is hoping that it doesn't take her out for too many games. But unfortunately, there hasn't been any more official word after like a real evaluation after the court. So
I feel like it was lower than the knee. I feel like it was Achilles heel ankle area that she got tied up the wrong way that got affected. I didn't see her grabbing her knee. I don't think.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that it is not a re-injury to the ACL.
Yeah. But
now that you mention that, she is a hell of a recovery story for an ACL tear. She's been playing awesome, and I mean like high paced whole game, being a dog.
Yeah.
So just wish her the best. Hopefully everything works out and she heals up. But yeah, about her yelling out that it was a flagrant. When you watch it back, it literally was just incidental contact type of thing, which in basketball and football get really weird sometimes, where like we're both trying to find out where we're going and we don't control it and somebody gets rolled over.
Yeah.
But when she watched the replay, I'm pretty sure she was a little more at ease about what happened to her, but not about how she felt afterwards. But yeah, not putting on a sweatsuit or a warm-up though and coming back to the sideline is a sign of I'll be back playing soon, in my eyes.
Well, that's the hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely the hope.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to her though. She's fun to watch.
Definitely.
Paige is fun as hell. If y'all ain't never watched Paige, go on YouTube. You can watch it tonight. Paige is fun. And you can watch the highlights and just see what she's snapping. It's fun.
All right, let's talk about this.
Intro this one.
So, Dwight Howard was recently on a podcast. And during the conversation, he revealed that he is willing to fight it out with Shaq. He claims that Shaq has been behind the scenes blocking him from getting certain opportunities, and he is willing to fight him out over it. So what did you think of this?
Who at the door?
I don't know.
Hold on real quick before I get into this. Let me check.
All right.
And y'all gonna see it. Put all the cake Milk ain't on snow time.
All right.
Ain't on snow time. We good. My dog ain't like it, so I ain't like it neither. You know how that go. So yeah, the interesting thing about this is the question, of course, is fair because there has been animosity towards Dwight Howard since he came into the league as one of the most athletic and physically fit big men in the league and was dominant, rebounding, blocking, and punching on people. And Shaq had the Man of Steel with the Superman emblem, and that was his persona for a long time before Dwight got into the league, and Dwight became Superman. Mm-hmm. And then won dunk contests with Superman capes on and stuff like that. And Shaq has always taken it personally. And when he speaks about Dwight, no matter how great Dwight's accomplishments, Dwight's recoveries, bounce backs, because he's been injured, traded, going to other countries, and still has success.
Right.
Shaq can never speak about him in a positive light. And it's like, even when he does, it's a backhanded compliment, and he's not one of us. So I could see there being a world where, one, Shaq does or feels like he is blocking certain opportunities from Dwight Howard. And that could be anything from athletically to business-wise, because Shaq is in business with everybody.
Well, and we know that Dwight has been trying to make sure that he has a foothold in entertainment and TV in general.
Yeah, and Dwight has been going through a lot of things in his personal life based on rumors and exes and all of this stuff. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I could straighten this one situation out. And we both 7 feet tall, so it ain't, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
It's not unfair.
It's not. And as a heavyweight fighter, if we just wanted to watch an old-ass Tyson fight, and the crazy thing is, one, Shaq will never do it. Because Shaq didn't want to train when he was a professional athlete. So he damn sure not going to hop back and get them hips on the treadmill now. And Dwight will clean him. But I thought it was interesting. I like this from Dwight because in a lot of the exchange, it always seemed like Dwight took the high road, which is respectable. But at some point, man, like, you ain't no fifth-year player, no rookie, no none of that no more. Like, you a grown-ass man, dog. And if we going to just keep going through this when I'm not saying nothing about you and we're not even direct competition, you never know. It might have been a network job Dwight could have got. He's well-spoken. Right? So when they trying to find people to replace certain people or to sit in for certain people to see if they might be able to add them to other shows or this show or whatever have you, they might have been like, nah, take him off the list. You never know.
Right?
You never know. But I thought it was interesting, and I like that energy from him because people always say, if you ain't affecting my family or my pockets or none of that, then it's cool. Well, clearly he feels like his pockets have been affected.
Right.
And we know that Shaq's pockets is motherfucking max potential at all times. So
yep.
It's a different kind of race. Especially when you got a name too and a face too. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so box it out, Shaq. Get in the ring and lean on him. But he gonna stand 10 feet away from you and knock your head off.
Spin around you.
No, because like I always said about it when Shaq was in the league and he used to get in the scuffles and fights, he never landed no punches. And I don't think that that's because Shaq can't punch. I think that's divine intervention. Somebody that big is not supposed to just hit somebody over a basketball game. I think God was like, nigga, no. Move that shit. Can't break his face on national TV. So I think a slow Shaq is like, oh, I don't have no confidence in that. Hit you 4 times before that haymaker land. Right, Cash?
All right, let's take a break from talking about sports and sports-related stuff. Move on to some politics.
Ooh, politics.
So, today is January 6th.
Ironically as hell.
Yes, which is the day of verifying the vote, which today went down with no incident. It was barely reported on.
It was also the
very
anniversary.
by the book.
Also the anniversary of terrorism and anarchist takeover of the Capitol.
All right.
I don't know. Who am I?
But in addition to verifying the vote, they also...
You okay over there? They had a ceremony to swear in.
Yes. Yes, they had the ceremony and swear in for the senators. And during this time, a senator from Nebraska, a Republican woman, Senator Deb, whose last name I do not remember, was getting sworn in. And as part of the ceremony, her husband is standing next to her. And Kamala Harris, who has to perform the swearing-in ceremonies, shakes the hand of the senator who's being sworn in, goes to shake the hand of the husband, and he completely denies her. And it's very clear, very apparent in the broadcast. And Kamala handles it, very diplomatically, just goes back and stands at her place. So what did you think about this whole interaction?
I think that it keeps showing over and over again that this country has the problems that we say that it has, that y'all keep trying to act like we're so progressive on. I also think that this is not new, and it's not necessarily just because she's black. It happens to women a lot of time in positions of power when it comes to political events. It happened to Barack before, though, also. So it's like, and the crazy thing about it is, no matter who you voted for, who you back, or what your status is, your wife is a senator. She's higher rank. How do you get to belittle or look down on her and put her in a position where she the bull that gotta say what up instead of shaking hands after you done shook everybody else's hand around me? To put it in like neighborhood terms, like I've seen it. Like a dude come up, shake everybody's hand. One of them people put their hand up, they be like, all right, yo. And there's a way that's respected, where it's like, yo, they don't know each other at all, and he don't play that game. But in positions of her handling tradition, you think that she cares about welcoming and shaking half these people's hands that she got to shake to swear them in? You think they wasn't talking crazy about her on their campaigns? She's doing her job. Now, I know that might not be homie job, but it kind of is too, because you are the spouse of. And when your spouse is in politics, which is something I'm very aware of, it's certain shit that you just got to watch out for.
Yep. And
sometimes you just got to grin and bear it. Don't mean you got to stand for the national anthem. But, sometimes, you treat formalities as formalities because they are a part of the process. And the person that you're with, this is their goal. So what are you doing? You making sure that the people that you align with and that you said all the crazy stuff about her to at home don't see you shaking her hand? Because that's what it feel like.
Right.
It feel like I went too crazy on her, or maybe you have that much hatred for her. But I think that a lot of it is who's watching.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of y'all don't even feel half the way y'all feel. Y'all just keep saying the shit that y'all know strikes energy in y'all position and y'all people and keeps y'all in positions of power. It's just the regularest thing. It's a hamster wheel.
I absolutely
clown.
Agree.
He's a noodle. And he looked like a clown. That's what'd be so crazy, right? Because when this stuff go viral,
he looks like Mitch's little cousin.
Like, you look crazy, bro. So you tried to play her, and she come in there hair laid, perfect smile to fit the occasion, suit laid, all of that. And you're the person looking down on her, and this is a hell of a visual. You look like a nut. You look like a nut. Maybe to your crowd that looks powerful, but y'all also liked when Trump pulled that little stunt with his ear and he ain't got a bruise. Anyway.
Yep.
Y'all thought that was so powerful.
Crazy.
Yeah, right. You ain't never met somebody survive 9 shots. Anyway.
So, in other political news, the Prime Minister of Canada has announced his resignation.
Can you explain this to me? Because was it, from what I heard, someone else had got elected, so he resigned ahead of time? Is that the situation? Like, he not going to finish out his term, or am I hearing that backwards?
So...
It wasn't a coup or nothing.
No, not quite. So... Basically what happened is kind of a similar to Joe Biden situation. They're about to go into elections.
Okay.
If he doesn't resign as prime minister, his party can't put another candidate up in the election.
That's weird.
So he knows that his approval rating right now is not very high. He's been prime minister for the last 9 years.
Right.
So he believes that because of inter-party like turmoil and disagreements, that he is not the correct leader for the times.
Did he consult with Drake? Did he ask Drake?
I don't think
No,
he
because
asked.
Drake could probably rally the... You know, they be having whips.
I don't think he asked Drake.
Oh, okay.
No. I don't think Drake participates
Or maybe Drake's not his boy.
in this part of China, in this part of Canada.
I say it's weird, though, because why does he have to resign in order... Like, y'all picking another candidate. I still got a term to finish. What do y'all do? Get an intermediate?
So he is basically still going to act as prime minister for a time because they're not likely to have elections until May or so.
So what kind of... Do I have the same assurances as a prime minister as far as security or pool power and all of that once I say I resign? Is this just a formality, or is this like have real term things that I can't sign off on because I said I'm no longer the prime minister?
I would say
Or am I putting in my 2-week notice? Like, what is this?
you have about the same amount of power as a president who is in the last 2 months of their term.
Oh, so it's the same. This is just worded differently.
Yeah.
Okay. It just sounds strange. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Do what y'all do. They be having peaceful transfers of power most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah. But like I said, he didn't have to resign. He could have continued in the position, and there
So is he
wouldn't
Saudi?
have been an election this soon.
So is he Saudi?
I don't know that he's salty. I thought that personally, I think that he's handling this very responsibly, and I thought that this was admirable if like what he's saying is the truth. If your party is disagreeing and your approval rating is low and you feel like you're not getting the job done as well as you used to or as somebody else could, and that's why you're resigning, like, good on you.
But that'd be so weird, right? Because people are willing to work with you when they know that you have more time and then there's more things that they can gain or lose if they don't, right?
Yeah.
When they know you on your way out, it's like, I ain't crossing party lines, or I'm not dealing, like the weird things that you're not going to like, so you might not be as effective. So at that point, does it become where he's looking at it like, oh, so it's fucking me, fucking you?
Well, keep in mind, this is also Canada, so I don't think that the Prime Minister of Canada necessarily acts like the President of the United States.
I believe
if
that.
you get what I'm saying.
I believe that.
In terms of like power distribution and that type of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then it is what it is, man. Wishing the best if he was a good prime minister. If he wasn't, I hope they find out all the dirt you did in office and hold it against you.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's move on and talk about Drake. Here it is.
Why you look like a wrestler?
I think he was at a basketball game in this photo.
That's the game when he was eyeing up DeRozan, I think.
I think so.
With his barrettes.
All right, so you want to introduce this one?
What's the topic? Oh, the Fighting Irish freestyle.
Yeah.
So Drake had what they're calling a leak, which I don't believe it was a leak. And part of the leak was a Fighting Irish freestyle, quote unquote. Within the freestyle, he took a lot of shots, subliminals at people. A lot of people have speculated who he's talking about, but two that are clear is Kendrick and LeBron. And it's one of those. For me, for what it sounds like, especially as something that is considered a freestyle, I feel like it's a moment when Drake is getting stuff off his chest, but I think that it still shows lack of understanding of his position because he's trying to say, like, I get it, but if you listen to what he's saying, right? It's like, no, I wasn't mad that you like Kendrick. I'm mad that y'all are partying to the show. You know, you at the show partying and singing along and doing all of that. And it's like, it still gives the perception that you really don't know your place in the struggle. Like, as rich as you are, as powerful as you are, as successful as you have been, you can't fathom the fact that people see things, whether in you or in other people, that have nothing to do with what you believe in. Because you don't carry codes and fundamentals that we care about. You break those laws all the time. You break those rules all the time. And that's part of what's come out since all these people turned against you. Is that you don't live by the same codes as us. But you keep wanting us to believe that you down. But every time you have a chance to do something, which is why I don't believe that this freestyle was a leak, you keep trying to do these weird fillers to see where the energy is at, and it never makes sense. You go on these streams and you say corny shit. You take weird selfies with weird captions. You put out weird songs. You drop 100 and something gigs of just stuff. And all of this is supposed to be happening nonchalantly.
I think he's depressed.
I know if he's not depressed, he's confused as fuck. But
I think he's depressed.
When do you do something that shows us that maybe when you said, yo, it's me, mind, body, and soul, in case you were wondering, I'm good. When do you show us something that really shows that without you trying to say it blatantly? Like, how many times you been on a yacht having a good time since this happened? How many times you been on your plane having a good time since this happened? Like, you got a life that, like, you not the person that got put out for overly talking about money. We know you got money.
Right.
Why are you not taking a vacation and just showing us, yo, I'm kicking back, enjoying my little life?
Yeah.
Why does everything have to be a message, a subliminal, a shot, something to get the vlogs going? When do you just live? Are you about to go back on tour? Because the momentum is not in your direction. And it's not to say that he won't sell out every city. It's Drake. But you're going to have different storylines that go along with these shows if you go into them with this energy. And you're going to spend the tour giving Kanye speeches. Because stuff is going to keep happening. And then the Super Bowl is going to happen. And then, right? Grammys, all that, right?
So what did you think of the freestyle itself, though? Did you like it?
I thought it was Drake rapping, but I thought that it's the same reason that no matter how great Drake raps sometimes or how free he is sometimes in his rhyming or his music making, I still don't get down with it because I don't like the energy behind it.
Okay.
And I've been saying that since Drake got popping, ever since after the first couple mixtapes and him running around with Wayne, we really started to get more and more of Drake. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like the guy that shits on everybody and then tells everybody that he's being bullied and then 4 bars later tells you that he's fucking everybody bitches. Like, I just don't understand how that's... Like, why do you always want to be the victim?
Right, that's not the wave.
And until this day, he's still running victim pleas. And it's just like, I hope the world is seeing what I've been saying. And not because I want credit for saying it. My voice ain't big enough to where I can say, remember when I said that? Y'all see me? But it's one of those things where it's like, yo, he made a lot of weirdos comfortable, and that's why they fighting so hard for him right now. But at the same time, all of that shit is weirdo shit. It's corny shit. I'm just saying you could do better. Y'all thought that was player? Cut it out. Like, why are you, Drake, hating on another man over one woman?
Right. Yeah.
Y'all from a generation of pop stars that like to have bottle fights in clubs over women. Do you know how dangerous that is? Not trying to outdo each other with how many bottles you could buy. Throwing champagne bottles at each other. And y'all sing. It's the weirdest shit in the world, yo. I don't get it, but that's why Drake is, what I say all the time. Only more than 85% of the country feel and live like him. They not like us. So he's always going to sell. He just got to stop trying to prove to us that he's unaffected by something that clearly affects him. And you know that you got people investigating you for stuff that's been said and been happening in these last couple of years. You can't act like it doesn't affect you. Unless you just going to go live your life. It's the only way to handle it. And not even telling you to fall back or nothing. Put out some dope shit and go get on a boat and see about it in a month. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Go tour Europe. Not tour, but like, on a boat. Go float around Europe and all of that. That's a good 30 days. No?
Yeah.
A little bit of Spain.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, man. And not that he hasn't done it, but sometimes you just gotta go breathe, bro. Take your mind with you, man. Get her off the internet. Stuff like that. Oh, this was crazy. I want you to explain this one.
All right, so Kanye posted this photo that you can see, which is clearly AI, but it shows a horse in Kai's streaming setup room.
Which is not AI.
Not the horse.
Right.
But then it's imposed with a bully sweatshirt from Kanye's brand.
Mm-hmm.
And he posts this probably as some sort of rollout. We're assuming something might be about to drop. But it was interesting because if you remember, Kai and Kanye are currently not getting along. So Kanye sent Kai some articles of clothing and they were too big. And Kai said that on the stream and that escalated into a back and forth between Kai and Kanye, where ultimately Kanye got very upset and, called Kai like unappreciative and things like that.
Compromised.
Yep. So anyway, fast forward to now, we see this picture and Kai sees it as well and he is confused. And so Kanye says, Kai reaches out to Kanye first, right?
Yeah, he reaches out to whoever is his third party.
Yeah. And Kanye replies with, Happy New Year, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then says later that the beef is dead. So they don't have a problem anymore. Everything is okay between Kai and Kanye.
I take this a few ways. One, respect to Kai because it don't take much for Kai to forgive or to because he doesn't want to have drama with anybody. So he's a big enough name where he could dislike a song or a lyric from somebody that he loves and they could block and talk bad about him and ignore him and all of that. And he doesn't want to live like that. So in a moment, and the crazy thing about the articles of clothing that was too big, it was the sweatpants. I have the same sweatpants. If you see how, I don't know what size he had, but if you see how much I pull that drawstring when I wear them motherfuckers, I'm sure Kai's was as big as they look. And I seen it when he pulled them up and they fell right down. He couldn't even, it wasn't even a thing where they fell on his hip. They just went straight to the ground. So there was an innocent thing. It was him being honest in the video, as he should be when he reacts, because that's why his audience fucks with him.
Right.
The fact that it turned into a thing where I guess Kanye felt at the time that it was me against the world, because he even made note of well, you don't say nothing about Adidas and you don't say nothing about them when they was doing this to me. And he was like, what? You want me to prove I'm not compromised? Well, fuck Adidas. Which is really funny because he ultimately signed with Nike anyway. So saying fuck Adidas didn't hurt Kai. But he did say that. And now for Kanye to do this, I got mixed emotions. Because I feel like if Kai wasn't in on this, because there's always a chance Kai was in on it, and they wanted to try to make it look organic, right? But if Kai wasn't in on this, then you Brody the Kai Cenat rollout. And that's not dope. Especially not if you did that before you apologized. Or at least squashed it. I don't know if apologies are necessary, right?
Right.
But I think that that's corny. And I think that there's another angle where you throw a stone against a movable force. You say, well, this is the young hot nigga for right now. I remember the kid with the blue hair. Where is he now? Like, you would look at it like that. And Kai is not going nowhere. And everybody else has been using him for their rollouts. And a lot of those people, whether you respect them or not, are on your radar. So you got to find a way to merge your situation with the Kai situation, which is why I think it might have been planned, because I don't think that Kanye was going to come back to America, right, to run a play with Kai. But I think it's quite possible that he'll cut Kai a check to run this play with Kai. Just to capitalize off of momentum. Like, nobody... I've seen more posts about this picture right here than I've seen album covers or Kanye merch that said bully on it.
Right.
And I'm talking about it last week. I don't know how long he's been promoting. I don't know if this was the initial rollout, but I haven't seen articles and stuff and things hopping up on my timeline that support this brand more than what I'm seeing with this horse.
And it's funny, I couldn't find the original post where
the horse was in there.
This horse was, but
it wasn't.
It was picked up everywhere, so
yeah,
it wasn't hard to find.
The original time the horse was in there, it wasn't necessarily a picture. It was during the stream, so that's a screen grab.
No, I mean the original.
Buffy, a bully. I mean.
Yeah.
The original bully
that Kanye posted.
Yeah, like it's not around. So I think he running a play on the back of that young man, and I hope that if that's what he's doing, then he's doing it with good intentions and good business, because Kai will definitely support you because you're one of his heroes, but don't play him for don't sell him short. He don't deserve that.
Absolutely.
He don't deserve that. Thought it was interesting though. I was confused as hell. I had to watch Kai talk about it. A couple other people talk about it. I was so confused. Cause I'm like, why and when and how?
Oh, what else is confusing?
Talk to me.
You got to introduce this one because I am confused.
Oh. So there's been a lawsuit filed by a hairstylist and makeup artist from Fox Sports, and it includes a lot. It says things about, I'm trying to pull up the some of the articles or something now so I get all these names right. But Skip Bayless is named in the article. It says that he offered the stylist, hairstylist, makeup artist $1.5 million for sex. It says that he inappropriately touched some young ladies. It also accuses, and that's why I'm trying to find the exact name. What's the young lady that they said slept her way to the top?
Joy
what?
Oh, what's her last name?
She's
the one in this picture.
Yeah. They were saying that she slept with a few people, including
Joy Taylor,
including cheating on her ex-husband while doing so, to sleep her way to the top. They're saying that there's 14 different things included in this lawsuit. A lot of names are involved, and I think what makes it very interesting is that all of these sports personalities and higher-ups have been getting shuffled around and fired a lot. And a lot of them, like we had the ESPN firings when they fired, 27 people or something, like one day? But it's like some of them people ain't make no sense. And we've seen the same thing with FS, where like we thought that Skip had the flagship show with a channel.
Yep.
All of a sudden, there wasn't no time and space for Flip no more. So it's like, I think in some of these instances, they're not surprised. I think the writing was on the wall. But what do you think about the fact that she's possibly pulling the old school and sleeping her way to the top? What do you think about Skip having 1.5 for some cheeks?
That's a lot.
And he just married his wife recently on some shotgun wedding shit, remember?
Right. This is scandalous.
There's a lot going on here.
This is a very juicy lawsuit. Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this plays out in court. And I don't want to, all of this is alleged at this point. This is just her word. So, the allegations sound crazy. First, for Joy to, be sleeping with, other personalities, network executives, because that's what the allegations were. Not just the personalities on the show, but also network executives. To try to get her way up is...
Some of them old heads got them cheeks, allegedly.
It's interesting, And
did you see all the videos that's been resurfacing from her, from the black guy that she was messing with? I forget homie name, and stuff that they had put on social media at one point, or times that she was on air and said certain things that was kind of like, it's like the CNN couple. There was breadcrumbs the whole time. So now when you watch certain stuff back, it's like, I thought she was dick eating, but she was really on dick. You see what I'm saying?
It's funny. I thought that only worked in TV.
Well, I mean, Fox is TV, right?
I guess so.
But no, this is going to get real interesting, and I think that it's crazy that we're on edge for so many lists to be exposed right now from so many people being brought up on lawsuits that are in the public eye for doing crazy things. I think it's just an interesting time we're in right now, but I feel like it's a reason that Skip hasn't been picked back up. It's a reason that Skip has been on that podcast, and if this is part of it, even if it's just to wait it out, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. And they saying Shannon Sharp got revenge on everybody.
Because he was not named in this lawsuit.
No, and a lot of folks on that lawsuit, he would say, fuck yeah, too.
Yep. All right. Let's talk about Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek Hill had some very interesting comments to say after the last game of the season for him. This is the first time that he will not be making the playoffs.
Or the Pro Bowl team.
Or the Pro Bowl team. And let's just say he is not very happy about it. He made it very clear that he is very open to leaving the Dolphins organization. So much so to say that he's out.
Direct quote, I'm out.
What do you think?
I think that fair to say wide receivers are spoiled.
Yes.
Elite wide receivers especially. And I think that ultimately, let's start with he has a hard time handling his emotions, because even if you watch when he said what he said about I'm out and all of that, there was a whole explanation that he tried to dance around during the interview. Mm-hmm. But he had a hard time controlling saying what he was trying not to say. And it's like he just doesn't have that switch. Like, he's never had to have that switch. He's always able to speak his mind. But ultimately, the things that he said don't add up if you backtrack the last couple seasons and the negotiations and why he's in Miami in the first place. Like, you're going to take a hit when you go from my homeboy to Tua.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Part of it is Tua's not going to be in all the games.
Right. He's injury prone.
You're not going to go to Super Bowls as regularly. Possibly win them motherfuckers, because that seemed like what my homeboy is in it for.
Yep.
So it's like you made bad business decisions based on finances, and I don't know what else. I don't know if you was running from something out there, or if you just wanted to be in better weather, or whatever have you.
Ego.
You said Ika?
Ego,
yeah, any of those things. But it backfired, and as soon as the season ended, before you could even take your pads off, You saying I'm out. Which is weird because I saw you a week or less, or maybe a little more than a week ago, saying that you love being there. Now I know, emotions and things happen, and season over now. But you got an agent. You gonna learn about disrespecting cities when you having problems with the organization, yo. It's not a good legacy. You're going to turn into AB eventually. You're going to have to accept whatever somebody gives you. They're going to label you a head case and somebody that's uncoachable, and you're going to have to settle for whatever you got to settle for long term. Whether that's reps, money, or whatever have you. But I hated how he handled it. I felt like he sounded like a brat, and I felt like he looked like he didn't have control of his emotions. And the more that they asked him, because he kind of avoided it a couple times, and then it got to the point where it was like the Austin Powers joint. If you ask me 3 times, I got to tell you the truth. So they asked him one way, they asked him another way, they asked him a third way, and he said, "Yeah, I'm out." It was just like, yo, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't like it. I don't appreciate it. And like they said, we just had another player this season. I forget who it was. They told him to go in the game. He said, "Man, I'm not going in there and win the locker room." Like, the only difference is he walked off the field. This is stupid. Y'all got to stop doing dumb shit, man. Stop giving up on your team. Because the thing that happened before that was he didn't go in for a play he was supposed to go in for, and he doesn't have an injury that the coach was aware of, and the coach didn't know why he wasn't going for the play, and next thing you know, he quit. So you quit on the sideline. You just told the reporter afterwards that you quit. When the reporter would ask you questions based on your sideline behavior. Stupid. Anyway, I'm telling you, he's going to wind up AB if he's not careful. He's way too talented, but so was AB. That arrogance will get you fucked up. Yeah,
because this just lowered your marketability.
And Tyreek Hill is somebody that, if you know, has always had off the field issues.
Right.
From college and in the pros, and it's like that's the same things that ruin AB. You keep paying for lawyers and keep paying for baby mamas and keep paying for incidents and assaults and all of that type of stuff, man, you going to need what you get. And you going to wish you put yourself in a position to get more. It's just the nature of the beast.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, well, let's talk about the rest of the NFL.
Do we have to? Oh, my bad.
So, the regular season is now officially over, and the playoffs are about to begin. As you can see, I have updated our bracket to keep you guys up to date on who's in, who's out, and who's playing who. So, in the AFC, we have first the Chargers versus the Texans, happening this Saturday at 4:30. The Steelers versus the Ravens, also on Saturday. The Broncos versus the Bills, happening on Sunday at 1. And then on the NFC, we have the
Rams versus the Vikings.
I was trying to look at the first one. The Packers versus the Eagles at 4:30. The Commanders versus the Buccaneers at 8. And then the Vikings versus the Rams on Monday at 8 p.m.
My bad, I was going by the graphic.
Yeah. So, the Lions ended up being able to secure their first round bye after beating the Vikings on Sunday.
Convincingly.
Very convincingly.
14-2 teams. That was ugly.
And the Lions, who have been plagued with injuries this year, have also recently gotten some good news regarding their running back, that he might be available as soon as their next game.
Which one?
Montgomery.
Dope.
And if you remember, Montgomery and Gibbs have been a dual threat for them that's been, driving their offense for the entire year.
Gibbs went crazy yesterday.
Yep. So to have him back would be huge for the Lions. In addition to that, the Chiefs also secured their first round bye as predicted. And frankly, on the AFC side, it's going to be very interesting to see.
And the Chiefs got their ass whooped.
Yes, they did. They got their ass whooped by the Broncos, who are actually looking pretty tough right now. So the Broncos, unfortunately, have a first round wild card round versus the Bills. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull out an upset and then move on to face the Chiefs again.
That's a good game.
It will be a good game. I'm very interested. So let's take a look at our playoff bracket, and what do you think is going to be the outcome of this weekend's games? Let's start with the AFC. Texans versus the Chargers. Who do you think is going to win that one?
I'm thinking Texans, and I don't know a specific reason why. It's just the first thing that came to my head, and just like the gambler in me just says sometimes just go with that. Like, you don't always need an explanation. Broncos and Bills is a really interesting game to me. I feel like Broncos should win it, but I feel like Bills is on. They have a tradition of being motherfuckers that ruin your plans every season. No matter whether, even if they can knock you out the playoffs and they not in the playoffs. Like, the Bills always seem to get one. It's weird. Ravens versus Steelers. I'm thinking Ravens. Steelers look real good, but I'm rooting for Lamar right now in that situation. I think Tampa Bay beats Washington, and the only thing I have to support that is that Washington still seems like even though they're winning, it looks like they're figuring it out game by game. I don't know if that's consistent enough for playoffs against the Bucs this year. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Eagles and Packers, I think Eagles got that one just based on Eagles' momentum, and the Packers are decent, but they ain't that by far. I think that was a great pickup for y'all. And where we at? Rams and you
Rams and Vikings.
Why did you shrink the screen?
Because I wanted to see the comments.
Rams and Vikings. After Sunday, I gotta go Rams.
All right.
I gotta go Rams, and that's based on, like I said, their performance this last week. And I don't know if they just threw the game, but it looked ugly.
They definitely had some offensive breakdowns this past Sunday. It just seemed like they couldn't connect with their receivers the red zone at all. You could tell that Justin Jefferson was very frustrated about it.
Yep.
And it's going to be interesting to see if they can rectify that in time, because the Rams do look tough. So I agree with you on the NFC side. I think it's going to be the Rams, the Eagles, and the Buccaneers. Although I do think that Jaden Daniels might be able to pull out a win. And
I would love that.
That's my iffy one right there.
I'm not predicting that, though.
And then on the AFC side, I actually think the Chargers are going to win. And then I think the Bills will have it, and the Ravens. We have Hype in the chat. He said, "Sup, gang."
Yo, bro. New episode dropped today. Check him out.
He said Kansas City ain't went to Cincinnati to get in the playoffs. And then he said
that's why they threw the game.
He thinks that San Diego, Buffalo, and Baltimore. And then he thinks Tampa Bay, Eagles, Rams.
Crazy thing is, I can't be mad at none of y'all picks. Like, it is what it is this year, yo.
We're
going to see some shit.
He also said episode 159 is out now for him. So
say
shout out to that.
Congratulations, man. One of the hardest working motherfuckers in the podcast space, man. My guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else in the chat?
That's it.
All right, cool. But no, the playoffs should be real interesting, and they should be fun. Kansas City has snuck through a season full of, like, they had an angel on their shoulder, but they still Kansas City, so you know what they going to do. It's been weird, though. It's been so strange how they won about 5 of these games. How many Hype? Like 5 of them was sketchy for Kansas City this year?
At least.
Shit, might be 7.
I don't, and maybe this is also like me not really liking Kansas City, but I really don't think that they are going to end up in the Super Bowl this year. I think that...
He said 13. What did he say?
He said 10.
10? Dang.
I think a lot of these other teams in the AFC are looking tough. I think the Ravens could do it. I think the Bills could do it.
No, everything is loaded for real.
We'll see.
I believe everything's loaded for real.
Yeah.
And I mean, any given Sunday, which is now Saturday, Sunday, Monday, is a thing. But like, yeah, man, good games. I don't think after the first round anything is cute.
Yeah.
I think it gets ugly after the first round.
And so the way that this NFL playoffs work is that the lowest seeded team that ends up, or the lowest seeded team that ends up moving on, as in like closest to 10, is going to play the team that has the bye. Mm-hmm. So if there is an upset, then that team would most likely end up playing the Lions.
It's going to be crazy, man.
And the Chiefs.
I hope Detroit don't just walk through niggas, man, because it's looking crazy right now.
I mean, yeah. Detroit looks nuts.
It's looking crazy, but shout out to the Eagles, man. Y'all got just as good a chance as any. Actually, I feel like a better chance than most.
I mean, we beat them in the regular season, so we'll see.
Yeah, so let's do it. Let's see what happens.
All right. Wraps up sports for tonight. Got a couple more things to touch on for you. This is your topic. I'll let you introduce it.
What's his name? Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Zendaya announced today that she is engaged to Tom Holland. Now, I'm familiar with Zendaya, and I believe she's a very talented, absolutely beautiful person. I don't know who this Tom Holland character is.
He was Spider-Man.
So he was one of the Spider-Mans. He was the upside down Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, word. That's why he looked familiar. All right, cool. So, I think what was interesting about this story is that he asked her father for her hand in marriage months ago.
Mm.
He did it the old-fashioned way. And the funny thing is, like, you see she looks very exotic and light-skinned. Her dad looks like one of my god brother's uncles. But I just thought that was dope, and I wanted to wish them the best and congratulate Zendaya because she's somebody that's had a lot of success, and I hope that she's from a wiser generation than her predecessors because a lot of the young women that were as talented as her and as great in their position as in business and life as her make horrible romantic decisions. I just saw a report recently about how much Halle Berry is paying all of her ex-husbands. It's crazy. It's fucking, like, it's about 4 of them, and they all getting something. The one that get a couple a month is still getting $2 million a year, and then there's $20 million. It's a lot. $4 million, yeah. So just make sure that y'all have y'all prenups right if that's something that will help the situation, but also just pace yourself, man. They just said that what's the young girl, the tennis player? The Asian one, the one that
Osaki.
She just broke up with
Naomi Osaki.
She just broke up with her dude. They just had a baby a year ago.
Yep.
And that's the story Corday.
Yep.
And that's the story with a lot of these young couples. They're actually breaking up after we loved them together and they have the child.
Yep.
Even in the toxic relationships, y'all go through the blue face thing. Right? So it's scary out here, man. Be careful. Pace yourself. Pace yourself. Not too much, though, because I've been seeing a lot of headlines about Melissa Ford lately and Vivica Fox. Be careful.
Well, I hope that they
don't price yourself out the game, baby. Oh, my
have
bad.
a beautiful and happy marriage.
No, I think that they look happy, but everybody does at this point. But I just wish them the best.
Yeah, and I mean, in their defense, they have been dating for at least 2.5 years now.
And in Hollywood,
that's quite
10.
some time. Yeah. So, good for them. I'm happy that they're happy.
Yeah. Go ahead, do it up, man. Have a ball. Take some great pictures and make some great memories and just make the most out of it.
All right, we got one more thing to touch on. Here it is.
So everything about this is hilarious to me, yo.
Oh, you gotta introduce it to the people.
Oh, this to me? All right, cool. Shout out to Figmunity World. If you're not familiar with Figmunity World, this is a group that about a year and a half, 2 years ago, left No Jumper pretty much as a unit. 5 of the major voices in their get down decided they had enough of what was going on at No Jumper, and they decided to create their own situation. Along the time of them creating a situation, they brought quite a few personalities through, a lot that the audience loves. Probably most of them the audience loves, even like love to hate type of relationship, and I think that this guy actually falls under that category too, if I'm not mistaken. But one of the early personalities that Figmunity brought on was Stet. Stet was a personality that was from the Midwest that knew T-Rell, the host of Figmunity. He knew his wife before she moved to LA, before T-Rell probably knew her. Like, they knew each other from being back home, I guess at one point in Texas at the same time. So he was somebody that helped with a lot of ideas. He's a creative. He's good with his hands as far as construction wise and things like that. And they slowly folded him into their content, which led to him bleeding into Figmunity World content. He wound up on a show called Fair to Say that felt more comfortable to him than a lot of the other platforms that was on the that was attached to the brand. And he felt like he had comfortability in that, and that he was the lead and the head because he had the most consistency, and that he contributed quite a few things creatively and, like I said, construction wise to building sets and making sure that the show was what it was supposed to be. Now, since then, am I skipping something, Kay? I'm good?
No, you're good.
Since then, like I said, a lot of personalities come in and out. He has been clashing with people the entire time he's been on the platform. He's been clashing with the audience. He's made a lot of missteps when it comes to handling adversity publicly. Mm-hmm. And recently, Figmunity World has added on Rap Report Card's Dejan Paul as one of their personalities, and he became a regular on Fair to Say, which is the same show as Stet. They started clashing. Narratives started going around, things started happening, and once again, Stet handled things the Stet way, which was not conducive to him remaining with the brand. So now we seen Stet be outed publicly for not showing up to a few episodes, no call, no shows, which is not normal for him. And then you see multiple people attached to the brand saying, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, which was always a little sketchy because it's like, well, he quit, right? So then we get to the point where yesterday, you see this thing, if you're connected to anywhere in their universe, that says Context Matters upcoming or whatever have you, and it's a Stetson show, a Stetson production, which is Stet's real government name, and it says Context Matters. So I said, you know what? I got to tap in because I've seen him speak. Shout out to Scotty, Suburban LA, for having him and Keem on the platform. I saw the Light Skin podcast. I saw him get some shit off his chest, but I've seen a lot of things be said about him since then. So I sat through what, Kay? About an hour of nothing? Of him just trying to smoke his L while not smoking his L, and his girl telling him that the chat is hating on him, and him basically pussyfooting around what everybody wanted to hear about. Mm-hmm. And then little by little, after his girl made him a drink and he started drinking it, he started saying things and throwing shots at people. And every time that he realized he said something that somebody would take personal that he really didn't mean to offend, you would see it affect him on camera. You would see him lean in front of the microphone and think about it. Or you would see him grab his drink. So there was a lot of weird things that was going on. And I think that what happens is, when you listen to him and you listen to how he's responding to his chat and you listen to what he's celebrating and how he chooses to celebrate things, there's an audience for him, like I said earlier. Most people in this country is probably corny, and his world is quote-unquote corny, but corny is in the eye of the beholder, right? Right. So, like, but he's just strange. And he doesn't fit, and he makes his own reasoning for why people don't appreciate things that he does. But one thing that I didn't appreciate that he did, which is why I wanted this to be a topic, was he explained a lot of things while using the caveat or the excuse of, I'm half white. And one of the things that he did with that was when he was talking and he started rambling. And he said, I know I'm rambling, y'all. I'm sorry, but I got a lot of words. I got a vocabulary. And I ain't going to lie, like, I'm half white, so I like to speak clearly and have real dialect.
Aye, that's not good.
And don't quote me, but it was something to that effect, and that was crazy.
That's not good.
But as far as this goes, man, I wish that the best. I hope he finds his audience. But he proved that he can avoid doing the things that people have been asking him to do, or reacting, or having the feelings or emotions that people are saying that he's having. He'd just rather have them in an environment where he controls everything.
Right.
And that's all that shit is.
Yeah.
And he's one of the people that explains every little thing, because he wants to tell you, like, I know you're going to joke about this, but it's okay that you joke about this because I know you're not smart enough to understand me. So he explains every single thing, but most of it becomes the opposite of what he actually displays. Like, he went on there and said he's not big on money. He doesn't care about money. Money doesn't rule his world. But if you look at his set, he has 2 money bag pillows, a bunch of random, I don't know if it's prop or real money on the floor, and a money bag rug that he said he designed after his money bag tattoo on his forearm.
Right.
So things like that just is an example of why what he does is strange. I'm not saying he's wrong for leaving. I wish him all the best, but I'm kind of glad he's gone.
Yeah, no, for me personally, this was difficult to watch. Difficult to listen to.
There was no fluidity and nothing felt genuine.
It was like, because we watched it from the beginning, and in the beginning he came into it and you thought, like, okay, he did some production work, he has a plan, he keeps saying that he talked to a bunch of people, he got some advice from folks, he has a plan. This man had no plan, and very quickly was like, throw all that out the window, I'm just gonna talk shit on everybody for the next 3 hours straight.
In 13 minutes.
With a drink.
A big ass orange drink with ice in it that was supposed to be Douce. I don't know what you was drinking, bro. It looked like a Sunkiss. And you was saying you was off the Douce. And I'm like, you know that violates every cognac rule in the world? Speaking of which. But yeah, that was disgusting, yo.
Yeah, this was tough for me.
I'm waiting for Hurricane's response, personally. Because there was times where he threw, not necessarily shots, but he was saying, like, well, he thought that her and T-Rail was going to hold him down, but then they did this, that, and the third. And I can't wait for her to really stop. Because she, every once in a while, she go on tilt on him, but I think she been holding back a little bit.
Right.
And I think that the things that T-Rail accepts from him, some of that stuff bothers her. And she's going to speak to the things that T-Rail's been saying, yo, chill. Because Hurricane is going Hurricane when Hurricane start hurricaning. So I'm pretty sure next time we see her on one of these platforms, she'll have a drink. And for what I hear, the next Fair to Say is supposed to include Keem, Pun, and...
Please say Illa.
I think Illa's on there. I'm trying to think of the other person. Who he was just talking about? It's Keem, Pun...
Dijon?
Not Dijon. It's somebody else that was affected by what went on just now with all
Tiny?
of it. It ain't Tiny. I can't think, but it's supposed to be a hell of... It's like a random lineup of people that have an opinion on what's been going on and what he said.
Smack?
It ain't Smack. I gotta remember who it was, but it's supposed to be a dope lineup, dope little like configuration. We'll see if that happens, but I think they all gonna get their shit off.
That would be nice. It'll be interesting to hear everybody's response to this.
I believe the fourth is Ella. Also, they had an audition on Ace Boys, and they supposed to be adding Mark Nasty to Fair to Say.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Mark Nasty ain't trying to hear none of that shit. So it's going to be interesting. All right. But shout out to all of them out there, the West Coast motherfuckers that put black and brown people on the same platform and are making progress. I hope that y'all don't let a few bad apples ruin a bunch, because what y'all got going on is dope. If context matters that much, I'm glad he's where he's supposed to be at. No problem. We ain't even tripping. Not as an audience, because if you want to see Stat, now he has somewhere that you can see him at. And he had 1,000 people in his live stream last night, which is admirable. So That was his first stream. Hopefully he continues to grow without the pressure of having to keep up with people that's not like him. That's part of the problem when you're not like us, though. When you're not like us and you keep trying to fit in, and every time we tell you why, like, yo, that was weird, you make your own excuse and reasoning behind it, then you wind up worrying about context of everything because you have to control it. Because you can't live up to the context of the people around you. And that's a real thing. That's how it go. Anything in the chat we need to acknowledge?
Nope.
Nothing, we good? And we got through all our topics?
Yep.
Oh, shout out to you, man. Shout out to C Cash.
Hey.
You think it's too late to call Cash? Let me call Cash real quick. If he answer, then he answer. If he don't, then we gonna wrap this thing up. But he did have something he wanted to discuss, and we had a decent list tonight, and I kind of got sidetracked, and I didn't call him. He was in the chat earlier, but let's see if he's in the chat now. If you in the chat, answer your phone, nigga. Answer your phone, nigga. It's your turn, nigga. Real quick.
Hello?
Yo, boy.
Yo, what's up, Sammy?
You know we live, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I got some Douce, exotic marijuana. Watching y'all talk shit. What's good?
I fucks with it, man. You had something you wanted to talk about tonight, but you couldn't make it. You want to get into it?
No Diddy, I don't want to get into it.
All right, then fuck it. Don't even worry about it.
I want to talk about it, but I don't want to get into it. No Diddy.
You keep being weird. I'm going to just hang up.
Bro, don't act like you don't know, like, this what you put me in the game for, coach. Like, fuck out of here.
Anyway, so what's up, man? Tell the people why you here, man. What you had to get to that you couldn't get to.
Bro, I know y'all seen, well, even if you didn't, because I didn't see the battles, right? But I know y'all heard about the Easy versus Shotgun Suge shit, right?
Yeah.
So, let me ask you a question. How, did you see the battle?
No, I saw the highlights and the reactions.
I didn't get the highlights and the reactions, right? Did you watch anything from 15 Minutes of Fame?
Yeah.
All right. So did you see the interview from Easy, like, soon as he finished the battle?
Yeah.
Bro, now you a Philly native. You got seniority on me. You and I both know we could have both watched that fucking video, that clip, without the fucking audio and knew what the energy was. Now, what type of face did he have when you seen him on that drum?
Sick face-o.
Huh?
Sick face-o.
He had the fuck out of here face, like, heavy on the fuck out of here, like, no, like, go watch that joint, guttercity.com, like, you know what I'm saying?
He
like,
had the face like he ended the round feeling like he had to fight.
Bro, you lost, bro. Keep it just, you know what I mean? Just be genuine. Bro, I'm a battle rapper.
He never missed the losing, bro.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't respect that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they was chanting
as a
30.
warrior, you can win or lose. When you lose, you gotta stand on that shit the same way when, like, it is when you win, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell him, oh, you can't beat me by talking about Rim all day. Nigga, you can't tell a nigga how he can beat you. That's like if you in a shootout with a nigga, you stand over niggas, but some other nigga might have got hit from afar with a sniper rifle. At the end of the day, the job is done, right?
Yep.
So my whole thing is, I feel like Easy's a hypocrite.
I don't like that he tried to blame it on Gas when you were so adamant about the fact that you wanted to battle him at home and his people fuck with you too.
You said you ain't care about the Gas. You know why? Because he thought that his little girlfriend bars was going to just shut everything down that Suge said. Like, bro, at the end of the day, this is my whole thing. If you are saying that Suge is being the cosplayer, all you doing is talking about Rim, he battling Rim, right? That's what you saying? Cool. Why would you start your first round off subbing her husband? Then you subbing her husband when he put hands on you and you didn't do anything. How thorough is that?
And then
I don't understand how he's from the same city as me, and I think this and he think that. Like, I don't get that. Then when you did this shit, bro, the "Do You Love Me" rim, that shit was corny as shit, bro. Like,
you know what made it even cornier? Did you watch the Face Off?
mm-mm.
In the Face Off, she said, and it went viral. She said, "Yo, niggas ain't gonna keep throwing shots at me. I get busy too. Like, I'm gonna hop in and start saying shit, right?"
No, man, I'm bugging. I did watch the Face Off. I just didn't watch it. I was listening to it because I was driving.
But then,
so it was playing in the car. I did hear that shit. Yeah,
so
I remember
then,
when she said that.
After you say that, and you know that turned Suge up a little bit, he like, "Oh, fuck that. I'm saying all this shit," right?
Right.
Then, after you say that, you don't stand on stage for the battles.
Right. Listen.
And then,
even that there,
and
right?
then,
Listen.
hold up. And then,
go ahead.
And then when you jump in the round, it's to say "I love you." It's not to spit.
Yeah, that shit was corny. That shit was mad corn.
They fumbled the rollout.
Like, please, like, corn muffin. Everybody go drop corn muffins in his fucking comments right now, bro. Listen, this is my whole problem, right?
Corn muffins is crazy.
That's hilarious.
At the end of the day, if you are gonna say that Suge can't beat you by talking about Rim, how are you gonna open up your shit with some shit that's controversial about her, then say I love you bar about her, then not to mention that you so scared about the nigga going at Rim in the fucking content, you tell Rim get off the camera.
Don't be on stage. You seen what happened last time if she was up there.
Your bar would have hit harder if she was up there though. Think about that.
And she was yelling down from the balcony. She went at one point. She was like behind the production. It looked like, and then another point, he said something and she yelled from upstairs.
Bro,
like why? How weird is that?
How much of a real nigga?
And then you a league owner too. Like Rum, if you're not going to rap and really put yourself back in the mix, you got to be a league owner, yo.
This how much of a real nigga I am, right? You know what I mean?
I don't know about that. Go ahead.
But this, man, stop playing with me. Anyway, this how much of a real nigga I am. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a battle rapper. Easy is a league owner. I could possibly get opportunity from the man, but I'm being honest with you, completely. At the end of the day, bro, if like,
I thought you had a point.
I did, and I lost it again.
If the league is going to be based on shenanigans, you don't need that opportunity.
No. I was about to say,
Because I got a question.
I was about to say that shit. Damn. It was just mad corny to me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
How you feel if you Suge? And I seen Suge say that he kind of had an idea when she didn't promote, which is crazy, that she really never promoted the event like that. That she wasn't going to be on stage for it. How you feel if you Suge? You know what you got. You know what your intentions is. You know what the outcome could be if you grind Remy up and all of that. And then she don't stand on fucking stage, but wants to keep interjecting.
I'm gonna go crazy.
But that wouldn't feel like, bro. That's not like y'all. I feel like this is an example.
Like y'all in cahoots.
But I feel like this example of like how we look up to people, especially a lot of the Oh
no! What I was gonna say is not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But Easy is giving a lot of like male groupie energy, and I don't like it. For you to be from Philadelphia, he's acting like the star's girlfriend.
Yep.
And it's nasty, bro.
Cause he acting like, well, now I can say that that's my bitch. So look, I'm gonna keep telling you, I really got her.
Yeah, but
it's
like
all right, but like all the rest of this shit look ugly. Like when that nigga said, man, speaking of trees, I'd never let no pussy change my religion. You can't explain to niggas that you called your OGs from Islam and they said as long as you wasn't celebrating it, you can't not take a picture in front of a Christmas tree. That's not going to hit when a nigga say I can't let no pussy change my religion.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. So it's just weird, man. It's all weird
shit. It's
but
weird, and it'd be crazy because everybody from OT be hitting me up and be like, "Yo, what's up with the Easy nigga? Like the nigga weird as shit." And it's like, damn, that's how y'all rocking over there. It's like, bro, the nigga is making us look crazy right now. I'm not gonna hold you.
I ain't gonna lie. It's one reason he not. because 50% of the city is saying he ain't from here. So it's like he kind of, when he does certain things, it'd be like, yeah, he probably from fucking Norristown or something. Like, you know what I mean? Paoli or something. Like,
bro, it's like, that's weirdo activity. For you to think that that's cool is weird, bro.
And to think that you get to dictate what people get to rap about and what reaction to get is just stupid.
Bro, you being, like, no disrespect to no women or no artist or nobody around, but you putting your joint in that girl do not have nothing to do with your authenticity or who you are as a person and none of that shit. How good you rap, none of that shit, bro. And just leave it alone. If you're going to tell everybody that they want some gossip and shit and talk about it, why you rapping about it?
No, just counter-write for it. But you're not counter-writing. You trying to make moments out of it.
Going with the narratives.
Yep. But the twist is, too, like, at the end of the day, you trying to apply real nigga shit and street shit to battle rap. And if real nigga shit and street shit applied to battle rap, every battle would end in a shootout. What are you talking about?
Right.
You can't keep acting like motherfuckers is doing shit that's not legit when it's in the realms of what you do. Like, if you on WWE, you gonna get away with some shit you wasn't able to get away with when you was on your high school wrestling team.
Mm-hmm. It's like you trying to keep it too real type shit.
Yeah, like, this ain't that. This is entertainment. We turning up, and everybody in here knows somebody might break something. We seen somebody die before. What we doing?
Yeah, bro. I just don't
get it. It ain't the same rules.
Like, it's funny though. Like, me and the Queen was talking about that shit. Like, imagine how they practice that. Like, just like, all right, babe, I'm gonna say this, and then you gonna say yeah. Like,
from like, across the room.
She wasn't even approving no shit like that.
Bro, but that's what I was saying before you cut me off earlier. Not that you meant to. You said you ain't mean to. But no, like, we look up to people a lot of times, and like I said earlier, man, some of these powerful women, man, they like weirdos and weird shit, and you don't realize it until the shit go public. Like,
who we look up to? Cause I ain't looking up the easy.
I ain't saying we, and I'm talking more about Remy. How people just like, oh, Remy thorough, see how she carry it, but it's like, no, you like weird niggas and you like weird shit, and you like to manipulate shit.
This is my disclaimer for anybody, bro. If somebody is good at a certain thing, leave it at that. They are good at that thing, and give them props and respect and love for their work. But everybody's a human being, and everybody eats, sleep, shit, and breathe basically the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's just all about differences, is levels and money and shit like that. But
the shit that Suge said aligned with the shit that Geechee said when Suge said, if you don't want nobody talking about you, watch who you open your legs in your house to. Like, bro, you picked the wrong weirdo.
Yeah, like, he's,
and not to hate on him. Like, no, if that's her speed, that's her speed. But you got to get what come with that.
Yeah.
If your man a thief, y'all gonna have to travel a certain way. Y'all ain't gonna be able to go out to dinner in the city. Like, it's just gonna be different.
Or somebody might light your car up.
Yeah, like it ain't. You can't just be regular and know that you love somebody that operate different.
That shit was crazy. Like, they making battle rap different now, bro. Niggas is
making up rules because of what people say when they emotional after losing a battle and acting like that's law. You don't get to say that like it's law.
Bro, I don't even think it's cool to have my girl at the battle. You talking about having your girl throw bars in for you? Like, niggas is weird.
I'll keep it G with you. One of the last places I want to take my girl is a battle. And you know where I don't want to take her before that she could probably go before we ever go to a battle? I don't want to take her to a boxing match. Because I don't think people realize when you not in the nosebleeds, it get ugly around that ring, yo. People be talking crazy, spitting on each other, throwing shit, fights break out. Like, that's not like...
Yo, you know what I noticed though? Motherfuckers that's really up, a lot of them is assholes. They don't treat people how they want to be treated. They think they shit don't stink. They got a chip on their shoulder. Yep. So you got a bunch of motherfuckers like that sitting in the middle, in the middle of a fight that's already heightened up with certain level of energy and violence. Like,
and imagine the bull is the bull, but he fighting against somebody that ain't the bull, but the whole hood in there for him. Mm-hmm. They ain't trying to hear that shit.
Right. That's how that situation happened with Cuz.
Yep.
But yeah, man.
No, I'm with you on the easy thing. He got to figure it out.
Shout out to Suge, shout out to Easy, shout out to the whole cart. Texago, he had a crazy match with Mac Myron.
Yeah, they said he went crazy.
Yeah, I seen Muap highlights and shit.
I watched Muap battle. He actually won that joint.
Oh, you think he won that joint?
Clear to me, yeah.
Alright, bet. Well, when I watch the whole joint, I definitely give you my wins and shit. But I'm salute to all the battlers, but that shit to me, I just didn't like that part. Like when people start sending me that clip and all that shit really like made me turn my nose up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And the thing about it is, every time he's in this situation, he starts the narrative immediately after he gets off stage. He goes right to Uncle Rob, whoever's close by, and says, yo, I don't think I lost. Y'all can't say I lost. Such and such happened. And then he goes right on Spaces or right on his live stream and starts making more excuses. It's like, bro, let the narrative float. If you give yourself enough time to see where people are talking, you don't have to keep backtracking the correct shit.
Yo, you know what I learned more and more every day? That like I ain't gonna say we all addicted to it, but I deal with it to an extent. Like I can't go like a week without getting like 100 views on the gram for going crazy, like for spitting some bars or something, just because I love rap, right? But nothing else. But like, no matter what tier or what level it's on, bro, like. That addiction, that attention shit is a drug, bro. And niggas OD on that shit all day, every day.
The only argument I have for that is that when you start talking about levels and tiers, there becomes different responsibilities regardless of your addictions.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a fact.
These niggas really be addicted to. They gotta be feeling like you gotta, bro. You gotta feel like you on top, like. As a battle rapper on the internet right now, or else you upset. Nigga, you living, you not in jail, you don't look crazy no more, you done got your weight up, your teeth ain't bucked no more.
You got a bad one with a bag.
Yeah, like you just said a hip-hop icon female is in love with you. Like, what is you mad at? Just like with Drake losing the Kendrick shit. You running around doing goofy shit and all that and looking weird and looking sad.
Well, you can just keep it playing and keep being great.
Niggas that won 10 times over and you still ain't had enough.
You need everything.
I just hope that never be me, man. I hope I can stay grounded and stay, close to my people enough to be just understanding that regular life is everything. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, keep me around, or you in trouble.
No, for sure. But, yo, I appreciate you hitting me up, bro. Shout out to Font Productions. I know she in the building. What's up, Kate? And I need everybody to stay locked in to my Instagram at the real C Cash, TheRealCCASH. I'm about to drop a lot of entertaining shit. And January 18th, C Cash versus Dre Dennis has been released on Instagram, Gates of the Garden, YouTube, all of that good shit. So it's about to be a murder.
Let's do it.
And that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow, nigga.
All right, bro. Love you.
Love you too. Yeah. On that note, on the docket so far, we have Carla Gamble, Pretty Girls Love Weed, and Mr. Know It All podcast all coming up very soon. All January situations. One of them is a live stream. 2 should be pods. Dates are locked in. We're going to have a good time. Populating the page again, going live more often, as we've been telling y'all. Anything else, Kat?
I just filled the page with plenty of shorts for this week. We also have some clips coming out from the interview with Showtime that we dropped a little bit back.
I need a tripping to come out, too, so we're going to do that soon, too.
All right.
Yeah. So, look forward to all the dope stuff. Shout out to everybody that was a part of the viral movie. We missed the premiere. We was loaded up with work. Kay had her nose in the computer, and I was on my phone and looked up and was like, shit. So, it looked like it was a great turnout. I know it was a dope movie. Salute the Bill Collector, somebody that's always show love. When I've seen them, it looked like you held it down. There's a lot of clips floating around and you doing your thing. So, salute to all of y'all, everybody that was a part of that, man. I just love to see the collaboration, because I saw Detroit doing it in film, and I've seen Atlanta do it a lot of ways in film, and I know that we have the talent, but we also have barriers that we got to be more mature about when it comes to being creatives and talents, and I like that I keep seeing it over and over again. So salute to y'all, man. I missed the pageantry, but I'll check the movie out very, very soon. I'm on it. I'm excited about it. Anything else?
Nope.
Then we out of here.
This is Sippin' with Sammy. I am Mr. Flash, it only the one and only Sippin' with Sammy. Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammy, you ain't sippin' right. Please get your fucking life together.
Damn, Sammy, you done fucked up.
Thanks, Sammy. Fucking yuppie transplants. Move the fuck out. Get out of our fucking city. You ain't even fucking born here. I'm tired of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, boy.